3 words, steak, coughing, Burnaby, not going to elaborate on this.
I'm trying to think when the first time I actually met Tiff was, but I think I saw her like at a camp one time and she was putting makeup on, and I was like, so I guess my first 3 words were makeup at camp?
The first 3 things that I thought of John is witty, sarcastic, and sporty, and not like the Spice Girl.
The first time I met John, I thought he was very composed, he was well-spoken, and kind of intimidating.
How I met John, I guess I saw him at church one day and thought to myself I always wanted to have a Filipino friend, so went up and introduced myself. Guess the joke's on me though.
So a funny story about Tiffany, I have so many. One of the more random ones is we were in Sunday school and we were talking about birds or something, maybe for sacrifice, I don't know. And then we were talking about chickens and she was like, Nicole, chickens aren't birds. And I was like, what do you mean chickens aren't birds? She's like, no, they're not a harsh bird, like a duck. They need to fly or swim or something. And I was like, I didn't even know how to respond. So to this day, I don't really know if Tiffany knows chickens are birds.
I was asked to tell a funny story about Tiff. What I'm about to tell you is not funny at all. Look at this as more of a public service announcement. Tiffany is a menace on the road. She has single-handedly done more than any individual in this room to perpetuate the stereotype that Asians are bad drivers. Tiffany has crashed her vehicle in every conceivable manner. Empty parking lot, check. Highway at high speed, check. In her own driveway, check. On a one-way street, think about that. John, it's a good thing you're a doctor because I hear they make a pretty good salary. You're definitely gonna need it. Tiffany's insurance most likely is only gonna get worse.
One of my funniest memories of Tiffany is when we took a taxi ride downtown and she spent the whole 30 minutes trying to convince the driver that she was Indian by speaking in her best Indian accent.
So, a funny story about John. I got a lot of funny stories about John, but I'm not too sure this is a place to share them, so find me afterwards.
I don't think it's appropriate.
Funny story. I don't think that's appropriate. Come talk to me after. It's not appropriate to say for all ages, so come and talk to me afterwards.
My advice to the married couple would be each other's biggest supporters. It's important to support each other in the smallest things in life and also in the biggest things in life. Also, it's important to support each other individually. I'm going to speak mostly on health and wellness with this. If you don't have your health, if you aren't fit, if you're not free of disease, it's really hard to be 100%, and therefore it's hard to be 100% for your spouse and your family and those around you. So make sure, take some time, work on your fitness.
So I'm not exactly the most qualified person to be giving out marriage advice. So my advice to Tiff would be, no matter how tempting it may be, don't cook with peanuts.
Continue to be curious about each other.
Advice for the newly married couple, I think surround yourselves with people that will only strengthen your marriage.
So the best words of advice that my mom gave me before I got married was to pick your battles. I mean, the woman's still right most of the time, but you just don't let the man know that to give them illusion of winning some of the time.
Words of advice for the couple, don't worry too much. Just enjoy each other's company.
My advice would be to keep your friends close because you have really great friends, and we'll always be here to support you guys through the difficult times and to celebrate with you two through the joyful times.